Welcome to Triple H, Hamilton Happy Hour, where we talk about pianos, talk about music, and everything else in between. Hey everybody, welcome to Hamilton Happy Hour. Glad you could join us. Once again, we got our brothers Mike and Mike. What's up, guys?
Hey everybody. Hey, what's happening?
And we have two guests with us today. We have Ben, which has been on our podcast before, and Christopher.
Hey.
Is this your first video podcast?
This is my first video.
Oh,
yeah, that was back.
That's right. Yeah.
You see my ugly mug.
That was back when we were in the pilot episodes.
Everybody's been yearning to put a face to the sound of that
Yeah.
golden voice.
Yeah,
All those 6 people.
They keep texting us. Who was that guy, Chris? And
we got a new one asking, huh?
Right, there was 5 before.
Yeah.
And so, we're glad you guys are here. We're glad you're back safe from Ukraine. How are things going over there?
Loaded question there.
It is.
Yeah, that's really cut to the chase. Huh?
Let's cut to the chase. Yeah.
Good to see you.
Yeah. How's it going?
We've shortened our podcast so the editing doesn't take so much.
I was
so
about
that's
to
why.
say, all right, how much time do we have? Gives me a better
33
idea.
minutes.
33
Yeah,
minutes.
after commercials.
Okay, jeez. All right, after commercials. Things over there, I mean, it's not good, of course. Things have been not developing in a good way, but in some ways it's not as bad as you would think, or it's not as dire as, it's hard to say it's not dire, because you say it's not dire, and then you say, all right, then we don't have to worry. That's the catch-22 of that situation. It's not good, though. It's not good, but it's, in a way, kind of being sustained right now. There are certain critical issues that are going to kind of cause longer issues down the line. But overall, I'm optimistic for the future, but in the path to that future is still not nice.
Yeah. It's, 3 years, 4 years?
It started in 22. So,
22, yeah.
What year are we in?
Holy, 26.
Yeah.
4 years.
And it started on February, I think, 22nd or 23rd.
Well,
February.
time flies when you're never mind.
When you're busy.
When
When you're busy.
Yeah, well, I mean, we keep hearing the ideas of flirting around with a peace deal. Are we anywhere near that? Or
So
why
that's
has that not
a big
happened?
news actually just happening today. So there was a big summit in Davos with Trump in Greenland, and they just slid Zelensky in there as well. And supposedly they now have another peace treaty deal on the line. But like I said, depending on how much time I get to kind of go into the weeds of this, but I'm not optimistic for any sort of peace. I'm still giving it another 2-year time span before we really have anything, because at the end of the day, it's on Russia to have peace. Zelensky's always kind of gone to Trump, and Zelensky's always been talking to Trump about peace, and it's always been Putin that's always made new new demands or new, compromises, which, sinks the current peace deal. So I wouldn't be surprised. I think they have it going in Saudi Arabia, or one of the Arab states are going to have another trilateral meeting between all 3 parties, the U.S., Russia, and Ukraine. We'll see if we actually get the first meeting between Putin and Zelensky. That would be the big change if we actually get those two to meet together, because so far it's been other people, and so it hasn't been taken as serious. But if that were to happen, then I would actually pay attention. But for me, it's just I'm too busy to watch something that is constantly changing every week, and to kind of get too caught up in the hyper media sort of 24-hour news cycle.
Yep.
Ooh, okay.
That was a loaded answer.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Sounds like you were prepared for that.
No, that's just, that's after a couple drinks, too. So.
Oh, you had drinks before you got here?
I just, I got to clear out the bar cabinet.
Damn, he's been here since 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
So what's up with you, Chris?
Oh, I'm just living life on the road these days. Showing up at the shop ever so often. I don't know. What is new with me? New year. Life is... Life is life, man. I'm trying to think of interesting things that are happening recently. The other day, I went to this. It was a cold call. The guy had some random issues with a player system that he was working with, or that he has, and I had never worked with it before. But YouTube is awesome. That's all I'm saying.
That's incredible.
That's how we move our pianos.
YouTube.
We watch our videos on YouTube.
How did we do that? Yeah.
Yeah, so that solved that problem with, here we are. I don't know. Nothing as exciting as this guy here. I don't know if people who are listening know your story. I mean, you've been on the podcast before, but like, have you
I
really?
think most people have probably seen that podcast.
Yeah, most people. Yeah.
But yeah, a
Seven.
refresher wouldn't be a bad idea because we have a lot of new people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, awesome. So, yeah. So basically, I'm from South Florida.
So what are you up to?
What am I up to? Yeah, I'm.
How have you been?
I've been doing great, honestly. I feel bad saying I'm doing great over there, but we're doing a lot of good work. So I used to work for Hamilton Piano Company. I came in. Ian brought me in, and I started moving some pianos, doing a little technician, working on some soundboard type stuff. But it was a temporary job. I knew it was temporary because at that time there was the war in Ukraine that was going on, and because of some family issues, I wanted to do something new while I was getting ready to head over to Ukraine. And so basically, when the moment came, I quit working here, and then I packed up my van and I shipped it over to Belgium, drove it to Poland, and then I went into Ukraine and I started doing humanitarian runs. And from there, I got involved with Ukrainian NGOs, volunteer networks, and then I've kind of just been building it from there. And we've entered like a new phase. I'm in my next phase right now. I'm in my junior year. Almost senior year, of volunteer work in Ukraine.
Well, that's a way to look at it, huh?
Yeah, no, that's a good way of framing it when we talk to each other, because when you come in, you're new and you have no idea what's going on, and it's always a cycling of new people coming in. But once you've been there for over 2 or 3 years, you kind of understand how things work, and next thing you know, you have to kind of take over a mentorship, leadership position because you have new people coming in that just you need to show them how things are done. You've already have the network built up. Usually, most of the time when you come in for the first time, you have unrealistic expectations. You have no idea how things actually work. And things change, too. From year to year, things develop. And so just kind of being in that position. So now I have my own shop, somewhat similar, a little smaller than this, in a basement. And
You
a
showed
bit
me
more.
pictures. It was really cool.
Yeah, so I have my own craftsman shop pretty much, and we have volunteer people from around the world come in, and we work on projects in my shop. We could talk a bit about some of the projects. But so I came over, and I really want to give a hand. Thank you for Hamilton is just being able to make freaking woodworking. My woodworking skills. I mean, the woodworking that I learned from here and I've taken over with me over there, like building furniture and building cupboards and cabinets and everything, has been like really helpful. And it really impresses people, especially like donating investors when they come into your shop and they see that you've built up all your own work. They're like, oh my gosh, this guy knows his thing.
Bring some of those investors over here.
Yeah.
So are you mainly working on drones?
Yeah, it's kind of drone auxiliary type. So when last time we did the podcast, I said I was heading over to Ukraine. I was going to be working with a school to help them with their drone school, and so I did that. So I went over. I started helping the drone school. I filled in some gaps, and basically right now we're partnered with a Dutch organization. So what we're doing is we're taking hoverboards, like civilian hoverboards that you see, like were kind of popular a while ago. They were popular and then they became lame, and so people are selling them on eBay for like $50. But basically there were guys who figured this out, some German nerds long ago, like 7 years ago, figured how to rewire them and to use like remote controllers to send information to these hoverboards, so you can actually control them via they use like a Wii nunchuck way back in the day. But then basically we were able to figure out how can we change this and use like a controller which we use on the front for other drones. And so we're now able to hook up these hoverboards together, and now we can make ground drones out of hoverboards. So I just finished our first prototype. This is something the Russians figured out, and we've actually kind of stole this from them. We were watching a bunch of Russian YouTubes. Like I said, YouTube's amazing.
It's fantastic.
You learn all this like fine detailed stuff because you got to make sure you have the right capacitors and other resistors and type stuff for the wiring, because you're reflashing the whole thing. And so now, we have a shop, and we're getting a bunch of hoverboards. I think we have probably over 200 hoverboards in the shop that we're going to start converting into ground drones. And those can be used for like logistics, supply moving, or one-way drones. You can figure out what that means. But basically we're taking very
Just
cheap
for
items.
one-way streets.
It's one-way streets. Yeah, pretty much.
To say hello.
To say hello.
I'm gonna grab something real quick because not your last party, but the party before, you gave me something, and I think everybody should see this because I think it is so freaking cool. Hold on.
think I remember what that was. That was a good party.
I heard.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was pretty sick.
So this is an artillery shell that you can see here. If everybody can see this. If not, maybe you can zoom in. And then you guys transformed it into an angel.
Yes.
And I just think that is
Turn
Turn it around.
so cool.
Yeah. So if I'm correct, that shell, if it came from one of our first shipments, that's from actual Bakhmut. So that was sent out from Bakhmut. So this is a really interesting thing about how like we like the volunteer world and just how we're able to like crowdfund over there. It's like they're like on top of the game all over the world. The Ukrainians are at the best right now when it comes to how do we crowdfund things. They're really on top notch about like getting supplies to the front where they need to go. And so this is a common practice. So basically units, you use your artillery shell, it's waste for them. But, there's people that want souvenirs and other stuff back home. So then they have some family member. So for us, they got connected to a guy who has a laser cutter. He has a laser cutter. He can do the laser cutting, but he's not like a real metals worker. He doesn't understand how to make this look good because it's all tarnished. It's been used shell and everything. So then we, get it to the laser cutter. They do the initial laser cutting, and then we take it in, and then we'll, go ahead and start buffing it and then working it and then adding the decals, stretching it out, making it look nice. Yep. And basically this is an easy way for people to raise money for units on the front is, because it's nice artwork and it's a good way for fundraising. They do a lot of lotteries, that's whole time. But yeah, a lot of lotteries and that sort of stuff to raise funds for these sorts of things. yeah, sorry.
Well, and that's the cool thing too is, you're taking something that is meant to destroy something and you kind of turn it into something that's supposed to uplift it, and be like that. And so you sell these,
yes,
and to help the cause, So anybody that's interested, you can let them know,
Yeah, so currently I don't have it up on my site. We actually just worked out the logistics because originally we were selling them to European markets because it's a lot easier for us to just ship to, outside of Europe. But we just did our first shipment outside. So I'm expecting, I'm going to be talking to our coordinator for U.S. shipping. So we're going to get these over and some other items to hopefully raise funds through our NGO for some of our NGO projects that we do. So yeah, we're thinking $50 or so for each one.
Yeah, it was funny because when we were all hanging out, you showed everybody, and I just went gaga for this thing. And as I'm ready to leave, you said, "Toby, you really liked that, didn't you?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Here you go, you can have it." I was like, "Dude, that is so cool." So I keep it on my desk.
I know.
You didn't give him $50
I'm gonna have to now.
for raising. I mean,
well, see, that's a funny
it's a
thing.
good
So
cause.
Toby called this an artillery shell, and this is like if we were talking the piano word, and I called like a grand piano, like, oh, it's an upright or something. Well, no, you're completely off. That's not an artillery shell. So that is, I believe, a 9mm. So that would be coming from basically like a heavy machine gun.
Okay.
Or it could be used.
That's a 9mm.
No, not 9mm.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's a little bigger than it looks like a
sorry,
50.
30. It's a 30. It's a 30 mil. It's a 30 mil. And so the 30 mil basically, yeah, that's a heavy machine gun, or it could be coming from like a type of grenade launch. I'm not too sure, but you say that's like that's small. All right, it's because some people they send us the big ones, and we've turned artwork into the bigger ones too.
Yeah,
so you have.
I remember they were like this big.
Really?
And they confiscated it when you tried to come over.
Oh, the border. Yeah, they're like, oh, it's dangerous. Like, what do you mean? It's spent. We have holes in everything. But the funny thing too is driving around in Ukraine with this stuff. It's just hilarious because they have checkpoints everywhere, and it's like, is there anything in your van that's dangerous? Like, no, it's fine. They'll look inside and they'll see that, and they're like, oh, okay. They don't care. And it's just so funny too because you walk around some places and you have the new people come in, and they're like, oh my gosh, look at that, so cool. I was like, it's just common litter, pretty much almost. Like we had a spent cluster munition dispenser, like for missiles. So like they'll shoot a missile and have like a cluster munition dispenser. And, there's just like one just laying, it's like something in your yard that's just like, just like.
It's like a Corona bottle.
A Corona bottle. Yeah, you're just like, it's like the flamingo thing. It's just like a flamingo.
In the front yard.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, everyone has one. It's like, it's not a big deal. It's just kind of funny. We were thinking about actually using those and turning those into like nice sort of like wood, like coffee tables and that sort of stuff. But yeah, that's kind of interesting over just how much surplus, like munition waste there was, that they're just like, well, let's be productive with this and let's figure some good use out of it.
It's recycling. I mean, it's
recycling,
and it's good, and it's for a good cause too. You know, so you're once again you're turning something that's bad into something that's good. You know, because this is meant to destroy, kill, whatever it is, and then you turn it into something like this, and it. I loved it, man. I mean, I was very appreciative that you gave that to me. I'll give you $50 after the podcast.
I think I got enough Jim Beam from you.
Yeah, so we're even. It's okay. Yeah. So I got some more. So can I get more of these? I want the big one. I want.
If you give me one, I'll give you $50 next year too.
Okay, yeah, I'll bring him in next time. But yeah, the problem is I got to find the babushka, like a babushka, like
we
a
got
grandma.
some of that around here.
No, you gotta get a grandma because that's how they ship it through. You gotta get the grandma.
The liquor store.
Just give it to Amazon. They ship everything.
Yeah, crazy.
But yeah, no, I just thought it was super cool, and
No, it is.
you know, so anybody that's looking, you know, for some, I mean, I think this is very rare. I mean, I've never seen anything like this before, and I think
I was just in Kmart the other day. I didn't see it.
Yeah. Kmart's still around. You meant Zayres.
No, Sears took
Zales.
Kmart over.
No, Zayres.
And
Not
Sears ain't around
Zayres or
anymore
Zales?
either.
That's Sears.
I thought it was Zales.
No,
Zales?
Zayres.
Sorry, I didn't shop there.
And only the people that are our age are going to know what we're talking about.
What's Kmart?
Yeah.
Mom?
So
What's a blue light special?
how's the van holding up?
The van's doing great. It's sitting in like an abandoned Soviet factory warehouse. So
Doesn't sound good, but
you know,
bullet
it's
holes are in it.
nothing yet. It's only had
Yet.
one accident. Yeah, one accident. One accident.
all the wiring still.
All the the freaking
Well, he
L
started
wires
using
are all
the
good.
drones on it. Let me try
All right,
it
what
on this.
happened with this accident? What was this one accident?
It's just a stupid car accident, you know, just how it is over there.
We
I
have
mean,
this
like,
over here.
yeah, no, well, it's just a fun thing too. Is like just how their car system works over there. It's just like lines are suggestions, not rules, and like it was just like a badly designed road. There's so many badly designed like intersection type areas, and of course I'm in Old Town, which is like Old Town isn't like nice old Central Square. Old Town is the old Soviet area that just naturally expanded on its own with no regulation. And so, you know, I have to try to cross this busy intersection street. And so I'm already halfway across, like I'm past here and I'm waiting for this guy to go. I see a guy coming this way, but I'm already in front of him. It's like, all right, you got to slow down because I got to turn, because he turned the corner. I didn't see him. I didn't see him coming. So I was like, all right, no one's coming. I'm putting my front out. So I got to get over because there's a speed bump too. So, I'm in a van, so I can't just floor it across. I got to go slow over, and then I'm like,
So they put a speed bump at the intersection?
yeah, no, like at the front entrance of this intersection, so you can't go across fast. You have to go.
They
slow
call it a
over.
stoplight over there.
Yeah, I was like,
That's their stop signs.
stop bump. And so of course, I'm looking this way to see the last guy go this way, so I can just get out of his way so he can cross over. But no, his mindset, he's actually going to go in front of me and around me. While I'm just like the guy crossed the other side to get around me, and like I've just like a millisecond, 2 milliseconds, it's from a scrape to like a catastrophic KO on the van because it was just took out the engine. Luckily it just scraped the front end, but yeah, I was like, all right, F this place, I'm never getting out of this street again like this. So but that's Vinnytsia. That's a little Vinnytsia story. Driving in Vinnytsia is kind of crazy, and driving most places in Ukraine I mean that's honestly when I'm in most
Sounds
danger is when I'm driving.
That sounds a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a rule they made over there. So Ukraine has a 0 drinking tolerance, and like there's 0 blood alcohol level. Like you can never have a 1 drink at all. Like 1 drink and you have 2 years, you lose it.
You won't find Toby there.
Yeah, you won't. No, it's a 0 tolerance because they
Hayden
had
probably won't be there either.
well, they had such a bad issue with it earlier because how bad their road system was and everything, and people were drinking it. But now, yeah, even still, they still have like issues with how they got like it's so hard to get a license, and sometimes so people don't get licenses, and so you have people driving around that don't actually follow any of the rules. It's not common, but there's just a few a-holes that are just like, come on, dude, and you're just like you're just rolling the dice. Like some of these guys will just roll the dice, like they'll take you over on a roundabout turn, and you're just like you can't see what's coming. Like you can't see behind. You don't know what's coming to hit you, man. Like you're just rolling the dice.
It's a roulette.
It's a roulette, yeah. So it's
It's a
kind of
war-torn country, and the most dangerous thing is driving.
yeah, dude. I mean,
You can't have a drink.
drink.
You're going to die going 5 miles down the road, but you can't have a drink.
So I guess there's no DUIs over there.
No, that's like well, like you say, if you get it, like your vehicle's they take your vehicle. Your vehicle's gone. You lose your right to drive for like 2 years, I think, or something like that.
So there's a lot of pubs close to home, is what you're saying.
Yeah. A lot of people walk. Uber and Lyft. That's super cheap there, and they have a lot of like
They have
family
Uber
outings.
Lyft there?
They have Lyft.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
they
it's
have
not a
Lyft.
dry area.
No, it's not dry.
Oh, it's
no,
wet.
definitely not. Definitely not dry.
So
I don't think he'd be there.
No, I would not be there if it was
it is
dry.
soggy.
Yeah. No, it's just very walking friendly, so there is no reason. Yeah, everything's
It's
within
safer to
walking
walk than drive there.
Yeah.
Well, I remember seeing on Facebook some of your videos with just like shit blasting off in the background.
Yeah, that was in Zaporizhia. Last time I went to Zaporizhia, and I did some handy carpentry work to help out a friend in her medical supply depot. I built her some shelving, like with rolling cast, everything.
Oh, right.
But like it's Zaporizhia, and Zaporizhia basically is one of the bigger cities close to the front. It's kind of quiet because you have like Kharkiv. Kharkiv is like a city that gets constantly bombed a lot more. Zaporizhia does get bombed, but not as much. But they shoot stuff over us all the time in Zaporizhia. So every day you'll just be chilling, and they usually shoot at night because it's harder for like machine guns to shoot the shaheeds at night.
And it makes for better video too.
Yeah, you can see the trace. It looks better.
That's our Aurora Borealis.
That's Aurora Borealis over there. It's like, oh yeah. And so basically,
Take that,
Normal
Ian.
night.
that's what you end up treating it like. And so you kind of we were there. I remember it's like a barbecue night, and we're just sitting there having our barbecue, and then we start hearing the motor engine because they're like the older Shaheed models are like diesel engines, so they're really loud. And it's just a constant bzzz, and then you'll hear the machine gun fire, and you're like, oh, where's that? And then it just flies over you, and you just keep doing your thing.
The buzz is here now too.
That is
The
so
AI
wild,
buildings.
man. That is so wild.
There goes another one.
Yeah.
No, that's
You guys were hanging out on the balcony, right? Or
Yeah,
whatever.
we were just hanging out on the
It's like,
balcony.
just taking video. Just like,
Wow.
No, I mean it's
looks like you're having a good time.
Yeah, no, that's what I hate to say. I was like, yeah, I'm fine.
Grilling and chilling.
Yeah.
I think trying to think like the biggest explosion that was closest to me. I mean, most of the time, like you say, cities are big. All these places are big, and you kind of take into consideration. It's like, look, I'd rather deal with this than like being like in Fort Lauderdale at like 2 a.m. on certain streets. Like on a Friday night. I'm like, no, this is way like. In some ways, in a rational sense, it's like, all right, what are the odds, And sometimes, there are big explosions, and they do sound pretty close. But I'm
Got
just
good news for you. Down in Fort Lauderdale, you ain't got any big explosions.
Yeah.
no. But I told them about like the shootings in the U.S. and they're like,
Yeah.
I told them like, hey, guess how many shootings our city had? Like what? Like they don't have shootings.
No?
There's no like people shooting other people over there.
Hmm.
Like crime over
They're
there.
like
Well,
city violence.
city violence is not a thing. Obviously in
It's all
some areas.
military.
It's all military. I mean, because on one hand, if you do get caught in anything, now like petty crime is like at a zero, like not zero, but it's almost zero because if you get caught, you go to the front. So they're like, I don't want to do, it ain't worth it,
I'm going to keep my hand.
you ain't waiting in the long-term legal service, like, it's like, no, you're going to the front. That's what they're going to do. It's like, oh, you're legal age, and you're going to go to the front. So it kind of I feel super safe there sometimes. Like, if there's not bombs overhead, late night, late at night. Obviously, they have curfew, so most places close before 12. Most cities curfew is at 12, so you can't stay past 12. But like 10, 11 o'clock, Friday, Saturday night, by yourself, anywhere you walk.
Sounds
I'm
like
fine.
Stewart and Fort Pierce.
So
11, 12 o'clock, it's shut down.
on that note of like getting set to the front, so that's one way they're getting people in there. Otherwise, what's enrollment like and people getting involved?
That's the issue. That's the biggest issue for Ukraine right now is the manpower shortage and trying to get people to want to go to the front. So that's one of the reasons why I helped out the drone school. So the drone school, it was a collaboration between me and one other foreign volunteer, was to kind of help foreigners that wanted to go to Ukraine to do military service. And so most of the time, there's a big issue with the whole military because like there's something called the Foreign Legion. They created a Foreign Legion that any foreigner can go to, and it's a unit of foreigners. But it had so many scandals, so many issues. It's a whole story. But basically, they closed that. That's done. And so now, but as a foreigner, you can join a Ukrainian unit. You can just join the Ukrainian unit, and maybe that Ukrainian unit will have its own little foreign squad. You can say like a squad of foreigners, and they can all work together. And so me and this other guy decided to kind of help the school out because they were offering their course in English and Ukrainian, which was a big plus because, you don't want to try to learn drones when you don't know the language and you're in the middle of a lecture and you're talking about learning about capacitors and all these sorts of things. You're like, So they teach it in English. They're like, all right, this is a good idea. It's in a safe areas in Ivano-Frankivsk. And so we worked with them. And so, yeah, we've had a good number of students come through. We've had a lot of, people that come through that, wanted to help Ukraine. They didn't have a good idea how to come to help. We've had Ukrainians as well go through that program. But, the biggest issue now for Ukraine is like, the things are changing. Everyone wants to be a drone operator because it's kind of safer, but not safer. It's safer in a way that if you're not spotted, you're fine. If you are spotted, you're going to get shelled. It's like in the case of like a sniper, where like as a sniper, if no one sees you, you're fine. The second someone sees you, they're going to try to get you.
You're their main target.
You're their
and
main
the sniper's
target.
going to see you before you see them.
Yeah. Well, snipers are kind of. There's a lot of old military people bitter about drones because drones are the new game. Drones are we are entering a new phase of warfare. That's what we're doing right now, and so. We'll quickly go back to like the manpower issue. That's my biggest concern for Ukraine is that everyone who wanted to go fight, they've gone. And so we have young kids, younger people that come of age and they join. But for older people, it's still very hard. They've had some regulations that they've changed in the Ukrainian laws. They've tried to change some things to try to encourage people. It hasn't been too great. So that's been the issue. But on the on the better side is that like Ukraine has adopted far better military tactics than the Russians currently are, and that the casualty rates between the Ukrainians and Russian is dramatically different. So the Ukrainians are far more better at adapting to this new type of warfare than the Russians are. And the problem too is it's different units. So, when you join the Ukrainian military, it's completely different from joining the U.S. military. Because if you join the Ukrainian military, you don't just join the Army branch or the Navy branch, and then the Army decides, all right, you go to this unit, you're going to be doing this, you're going to be doing that. No. In their system, you join an actual brigade. Like you join a specific, you choose like if you don't get drafted. If you're like you can, like there's individual units that recruit, and you join that unit. And there's multiple different ones. There's some famous ones. There's like Third Assault. Third Assault is basically like they've done such a good job that they were a brigade, not battalion. I think it was. Sorry, here. This is the 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock. But basically, they're a decent sized group. Let's say around 650 people. But they've been operational successful to the point now that they've been upgraded into like I believe it's 3rd Corps. So they now have multiple, I think, divisions. I haven't looked into, I can't solidify, but the basic idea is that they are allowed to expand. So they went from like a medium-sized group to now a bigger group, and they're just because they are able to operate in such an efficient way. And this is kind of a good side that they're letting more efficient units, like they all let all these units do their own thing, which is great because in some ways it allows you, if you're good and you know what you're doing and you can show results, then, they let you keep doing good stuff. On the other side, if you're corrupt and you're kind of, nepotistic and you got your position and you're just kind of lazy and whatever, they're not going to really try to change it too much. And that's just kind of sad. Because that's the issue is that it's a lottery. If you choose to join a unit, you want to join the good unit. But how do you know it's a good unit and they're actually going to look out for you? Because if they're not looking out for you, it's bad pie. So regarding that. That's one of the issues that, there's too many horror stories about what's happened to guys joining bad units and having these horrible experiences, and they don't want to repeat that. So I get that, but that's luckily there are better units. They're doing a better job, and there's better training. And I'd say the casualty rate for the Ukrainians has been decreasing, and they're doing a very good job at developing the drone systems and like taking that, and then like we're entering the new phase of warfare. Like we said, we're going from like the easiest, way to like compare it is like going from line warfare during the Civil War to World War I trench warfare. And how do we develop that? Because we see that now with the Russians, is that the Russians are using tactics still that we would have used in line warfare. You know, when you had all these guys in the trench line that just run up and they run across no man's land and they just get machine gunned down. That's what we're seeing now still, is because they haven't adapted fully to what drones are doing and how essential drones are in like the field of combat. Because now the front line is no longer, it's no longer just like, oh, we can see you from, let's say, 15 kilometers with our drones. The entire front line from like kill zone, like where you are in danger, it's like a 25-kilometer area from the zero line. From zero line to 25, you are in danger of your life, of a drone hitting you and destroying you. So this is a common issue when it comes to logistics. Like I said, most guys now die by them trying to get onto position or leaving position. They don't die at the position. In the position, you just get to the position, you go in your bunker, you have your technical equipment, and you do, you observe the front. And then when you try to leave the front, that's when you get hit, or when you try to go out to the front, that's when you get hit. So that's also why we're working on ground drones, because what we want to do is take as much logistics work off of humans and replace that with robotics, so it no longer puts humans at risk when we need to resupply, because obviously guys at the front need food, they need water, they need new batteries to recharge all their electrical equipment. Someone's got to put that there. So we either do that by, people, or we do that by machine.
Yeah.
Okay, so I always assumed that you were making drones just for bombs, essentially. But
I mean, I'm always a hipster, dude. I'm the hipster because everyone does that. All right, I was like, everyone makes these bomb drones. I want to make something different.
make a food drone.
So these drones, are they like the drones that we see that kids own, or are they like our military drones that are like the size of this table?
So the kid drones. So we're talking about like civilian use drones. Civilian use drones do have a purpose out there, but they need to be modified. So if we're talking, DJI, which recently got banned in the U.S., that's a whole thing. But DJI drone, they're a great use. Everyone uses them over there, but there are certain issues with them. One issue is that it uses GPS, and GPS, you can't use GPS on the front, because basically there's certain communications going on between the radio and the controller, and the GPS will give away the pilot's position. So what we do then is that we actually have to just modify it. So we'll open up the controllers and we'll put in almost a new operating system inside of that, so we can modify it so it doesn't provide these things. So that was an issue at the beginning. People were dying because they were just taking these, civilian drones to the front, and they were just using them. And then the Russians, of course, the Russian state has access to a lot of this information from China, so they have no problem breaking into it and finding out positions like that. But once we figured out, we can spoof certain information and they're fine that way, then they're like, we use civilian drones all the time. It's a common thing. Last time our NGO, we donated one civilian drone. I forget which DJI drone it was, but we gave that to a unit, and they use that to observe the front. So we can use these small civilian drones, no problem. And then you have like FPV drones, we can call them, even though like a civilian DJI drone is an FPV drone, because that just means first-person vision. A kamikaze drone, it's like usually mostly homemade drones, and you just need a carbon frame, 4 motors, and then there's like 3 other main components. But you can get all these components on the market because it was a hobby activity beforehand. I'd say the running price for one of these is $250.
Wow.
Are we talking like air drones or land drones?
Air drones. So we're talking air drones. So for like a smaller air drone, if you're looking for something that can hold like a hand grenade or something, you can use like a 7-inch. We'd say like a 7-inch. The motors, most of the cost is going to be in the battery and in the motors, and maybe the VTX, the transmitter type thing, but for the most part, you shouldn't be paying more than $1,000 per drone. And that was the crazy part, was that you have these now, and they're taking out vehicles, tanks, other large munition things. And now we have the next iteration for this whole warfare is now we have fiber optic cables. So beforehand, we were always communicating via radio transmission. We were either using analog or digital. Digital is like what all the civilian stuff uses. In some ways, it's a bit more fragile, and we don't prefer it. But on the other hand, with the analog systems, we can. It's more diverse in some ways, and we can change things up on the front a lot easier. But basically, these 2 systems easily accessible on the market, no problem. And then for us going into like the fiber optics, is that like instead of us trying to communicate via radio waves that can be intercepted or jammed, now we're using an actual physical line that you cannot break unless you physically break a line. So it's a big issue for when it comes to like, there's no way to jam it. You can't jam it. There's no electronic warfare system to stop it. The only way you can stop it is kinetically stop it. So you have to shoot it or cut the cable. So, but yeah, the bigger drones, the bigger guys, these were actually used to be like farming drones. These were used for agriculture. So a lot at the beginning, we were actually buying agriculture drones, and we would just modify them that way. And like I said, we just need to change out the communication system, which you know, it takes a little bit of brain power, but it's honestly YouTube, man, freaking YouTube.
And how were they used agriculturally?
Oh, like spraying fields and
Is
everything.
that right? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like China used it all the time, and so like yeah, a lot of people are getting big agriculture drones they're using for spraying fields.
And how big are those? Just out of
Oh,
curiosity.
dude, they're like the size of this freaking table. I mean, maybe get rid of these side bits, but yeah, the center bit,
Yeah.
yeah,
Huh.
as big as that, and yeah, they can carry a buttload. You know.
Really? 'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, you think of you always see the U.S. military has drones that are half the size of an
Like a
F-14.
Predator drone.
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's when I hear drone, I'm thinking they're flying those. Of course, those are
We
sitting
did.
on a Air Force carrier.
Yeah. So that's the crazy thing, because like those drones, like Ukraine had them at the start of the war. They got the Turkish version, the cheap Turkish knockoff, which it worked. It worked, but guess what? The problem is like they're big, expensive, and they get shot up.
Yeah.
They're going to get shot up, and so it's just price comparison. Because let's say this agriculture drone, I mean the fixed wing like Predator type drone, you're looking at the 200, 300,000. Agriculture drones, it's 20,000.
Oh wow!
And so if
They
it
can
does,
probably carry the same amount.
they can carry the same amount. I mean, well, it's different. Like those guys were using missiles that can fire. But if you're looking, most of these drones, the main purpose is that how warfare's changed now is that you have guys that just, you go to your position and now you're underground. And so the objective for the opposing side, if you got to get them out underground. So it's either by using a very big explosive or intercepting them when they go and leave the position. So that's what we use like an agriculture drone, because it can carry a big payload. Because the smaller guys, they can carry maybe, 2 kilograms maybe at most, but like the bigger guy, you're talking 20 kilograms. And so you're talking about carrying several, tank mines.
Oh wow!
And, drop several tank mines on a position late at night, they're going to have a bad time. So that's kind of how things have changed in that way. And this is kind of the fascinating thing, is just how fast it's scary too, of course, but it's changed. And so this is where I'm kind of optimistic for Ukraine, is that Ukraine's doing a lot better job adapting to this change and implementing it, not just the technology side, but like the unit side. Like, how do we integrate a military system to properly utilize this sort of thing? So, it's like if you might have the technology, but if you don't properly implement it, then it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Well, I would think too that a lot of this has been saved a lot of lives.
Yes.
Because you're using a drone, and if the drone gets killed, that's a drone. It's not a human being. So I mean, you look at the positive. That's already a positive all in itself.
As long as they don't spot.
20 grand versus somebody's life.
Yeah.
Right.
As long as they
Right.
don't spot.
Yeah.
The guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So no, I had one. So the shirt I'm wearing right now, this is from my friend's Kevin organization. He's a medical guy. He's an older guy. I forget which state he's from. I want to say Colorado, but that's probably wrong. But he used to be a Navy medic. And
Not
he
a
came.
lot of
I
Navy in
mean, he's
Colorado.
like 67, dude. He's
He
up
might
there.
know Uncle Jimmy.
Dude, he's up there, but he's on the front line right now. And he said the most danger he was ever in was when he was like being a medical attaché to a drone unit.
Oh wow!
And they said they dropped several glide bombs on their position. Once they found them, they dropped several big bombs on them. And he was like, "That was the biggest danger I've ever been." I've been closer to the front. I've been on zero line. And, I never got hit that hard. But when I was with the drone team and they found us, they threw everything they had at us, and they were very lucky. But yeah, I mean, in that sense. But yeah, like life preservation, like a drone team can cover 20 kilometers. Like we can observe 20 kilometers. We can observe for like if Mike, if you go out, like Mike, I want you to look outside. I want you to keep track of everything going around you. How far can you actually like observe? Like what's the radius of distance? So like I put you on the roof. It's like, Mike, tell me, if you see anyone coming, let me know. How far off can you see?
100 feet, maybe.
I told you you need to go to the eye doctor.
Eye doctor, man. Yeah. But
well, I mean, depends on how in depth you're looking. I mean, are you trying to read the license plate on someone's license plate?
and movement. Yeah. So hey, you see a tank
movement.
coming. You let me know how far do you
Half a
think?
mile.
Half a mile. All right.
Ish, yeah.
So there we go. So, but with drones now, it's 20 kilometers. You put a drone up, and especially one of those civilian drones with a nice camera that has like a 64 times zoom. Oh my gosh, you're just you put it up 2,000 feet, and you just all right. This is everything. All right, you can observe everything, and so you need a lot less guys on the front to be able to do what you used to be able to do back in time. So this is one of the other changes where it does save lives because we need less guys on the front. You need smaller teams to be able to do what you need to do.
It's kind of, if you look back in history too, with what we're talking about with modern warfare and what they used to do back in the day where they walked towards each other. All right, shoot, and they shot, and then next guys are
Revolutionary
loading their
War
guns,
and all
and the
that
other guy.
kind of stuff.
Civil War and all that stuff,
Yeah.
and it's like
Minutemen.
Yeah.
it's a complete difference, and those were the front lines at that time, and you were lucky if you didn't have a cannonball take your leg off or something, or get shot. So now
That was the 100 feet. See, you've been great in the Revolutionary War.
I am curious though, how much, because there is modern warfare that we still need soldiers, we still need people on the front line. Like how much of those tactics are still being implemented? It's not all drones.
What does the front
obviously.
line really look like?
Yeah.
So this is the general idea how it works. So basically, you would have your team. So you would go up to the front, and you'd have like a zero gray. It's all gray now. There's no like actual trench line where you have a specifically say, I know we control this entire line. It's like, all right, I have this guy. They're in this tree line, and they're projecting an influence that we know we can see everything, and we can probably hit anything within this distance. And then what would happen is the enemy, what they would try to do is they would try to push into that gray zone, past that gray zone, and find a place to hide, set up shop, and then to also project power. And then they go back and forth, and it's trying to find these pockets where we're projecting power, where we have these drones that are projecting influence. And so there are teams. So like this is where you would have like your patrol teams now. Patrol teams no longer actually like patrol. What they'll do is they'll be assigned to a sector, and they say, hey, we saw a group of guys. I think they went into this warehouse factory area. You need to go in there, clear them out, see if they actually got in. Don't let them set up shop. And that's kind of how things are now. Yeah, that's still a thing. But that's like an assigned role now. That your job is now close quarter combat. This is what I do. I clear an area. I'm not just a regular rifleman. No, you're being trained you're going to do this specific, very risky job. And so like I say, it's more specialization in some way. So.
Can't they also like dial in on how much energy is being used?
Well, are you talking about like on a drone system?
Well, no, as far as you're going in and drawing power.
So that's a fun part. Oh, not fun part. Like, is where I come in. It's like
That's the fun part here.
Yeah, that's the fun part. Like power, because now power is a new munition. That's how I like to think about it. Power is like a new sort of munition that we need to. And how do you get that power? If you're on the front, all the power lines have been blown to crap. You're not getting the power. You're not getting anything from any cable line. So all your power is either coming from a generator or from a power station.
But can't they tell by like drones with
like a sensor or something?
Yeah.
Like you can tell body heat. You can
body
tell,
Heat sensor, yeah.
So that's why we're underground. That's why everyone's underground. Everyone's underground.
So you can't detect that.
So what we would look for then is looking for the radio signals, things that are like emitting radio signals, and so that's why usually you'd have like everyone has like a radio tower. So,
and those could go through underground.
No, like you'd have a hard line, so you'd have like a hard wire connected, so you'd have like a command station
with
we'd have
an antenna coming out or something.
So like if this is like Toby's base, right? So basically we'd all be on the computer screen. We'd all be watching. So Toby has his computer and all that, and he'd have that
center.
Get the Tobot.
And so probably what Toby would do, Toby would yell at Mike, like, one of you Mikes, go over to the subway over there and put an antenna up there, and we'll run a wire to that computer.
Nope, I'm going
Yeah,
home.
see, that's dangerous.
Nope,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
going home.
Yeah.
Can I get a sub on there?
Russo's on go-to, not Subway.
I'll I'll do it if we go to Russo. I'll do it at a Subway. Yeah, but that's how it works. So basically, you would set like it's only
You
100
gotta dig
meters.
a tunnel all the way to Russo's, though. That's
No, you just the line could be above ground, but yeah, you just have it run into here, and so yeah, you would have like your radio transmitter 100 meters because of just how power transmit through lines and stuff. They can only be like 100, maybe 200 meters, and that's really expensive. Like there's small, expensive stuff like that, but yeah, so that's what's emitting that signal to the drone that we're controlling from this area right here inside. So
And you're within the range of that, so they can't tell exactly where
so they
you
can't.
are
So they can hit the
into-
tower, but they don't know.
they
where
don't
you
know
are.
exactly
Yeah.
where
Or they
you
got
are.
big scissors on the drone,
Or
and it
they're-
comes and cuts the wire.
That too.
kind of guessing where you're at from.
So they
that
guess where
point.
they at, and so that's why I say you observe. It's like cat and mouse a lot of the
Yeah,
time. So
yeah,
they're
yeah.
just watching, observing, seeing what's happening.
Or
So-
they're going in like a 100-meter radius and just dropping bombs around that.
But
You
here's
know
the
what I
thing:
mean?
if you're dropping a bomb, then that means I know there's another team somewhere out there. There's an opposing team. All right, let's get our guys up. Let's see where
Well,
they're operating from.
If I know, say there's an antenna,
Mhm.
100 yards or
Whatever.
half a mile,
Yeah.
and you throw a Moab.
Well, okay, that's expensive.
So
So you're not throwing a Moab
I'm just saying.
on 5 guys underground. So there's a cost ratio.
You didn't see the last
and that's the entire point. It's cost.
Moab bomb, did you?
That the cost ratio, and that's the whole point. It's the cost ratio of like, all right, is it worth it? And so this is the interesting thing. It's a cost effectiveness right now, where everyone's trying to get a very cost effective system, and so that's what we're doing at my shop now. Is that we're trying to make a lot of this stuff for free, because on one hand, there's not too many suppliers, and then like a lot of the Western like U.S. stuff, it's way overpriced for what they're actually providing. And we're looking at, like, I've gotten into battery systems now. So while I'm back home, I've been learning about microelectronics, working with Arduinos and other things. And we're trying to make our own power stations and other power sources for guys on the front, and then working on ground stations and how because, they'll charge like $20,000 or something. I'm like, dude, it's a freaking monitor screen with some batteries. This is.
We got some
So
cool
what
electric
batteries are you
generators.
using?
So when do you go back to Ukraine?
February, like late February, I got to go to Copenhagen first. We got a new connection, so I've been working with a lot of people in the EU now, which has been very. It's nice.
I like Copenhagen. It's really nice.
It's really nice. I always my biggest complaint about the Danes, if we want to talk about Greenland, is like they're too sensible. They figured all their problems out, and they don't know how to deal with problems now.
You've been there, right? Copenhagen?
Yeah. I was there right before I left this time. It's a beautiful place.
Oh, it is.
Walkable. People there are nice.
Yep.
Streets are clean. Interesting history. Got to go. I went to their World War II museum. They call it the World War II Museum of Resistance. And like the joke for like the Danes is like, we're just happy we got put on the right side of like the treaty, because it was pretty close for them to put us on the Nazi side. It was like.
Did you ever walk in Tivoli?
No, I don't know. Is that where like they
The
had
park?
the
Tivoli Park?
No, I didn't go to any of the parks.
It's awesome.
Okay.
Really. If you get a chance,
Yeah.
go through the amusement park Tivoli. It's really cool.
We did like most of the coastal stuff. So obviously they had like that very famous strip where you had like the dry dock or like the dock area, and you had all the famous like bars and restaurants right next to the square area. Got to go to the Parliament, go to the museum. I mean, yeah, it's a cool place. I mean, I don't know, man. I like Europe. Kind of like I like walking. I'm sorry, I like being able to walk around, like not having to drive everywhere. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, that would be nice. So, and then how long are you over there again?
I have no
This trip?
idea. I mean,
Until he gets back.
until I get back, like I said, I try not to.
Till
Hey,
the weather-
Toby,
till the
I got
weather-
a party going on. You want to come?
Until the weather gets shitty again. Eh?
Yeah, until the weather gets shitty. I said last time I was just like, I'm done, So since I set up my shop, I'm like, all right, I have the shop, but I don't want to live in a basement during winter with power outages, 8 hours a day, and all right, what am I gonna do?
You got power. You're drawing it already. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, so,
We got some
You're
generators.
underground.
yeah.
So I'm interested in knowing, like, because this all seems like it's on the back burner for us over here anymore. You know what I mean? When it first started, everybody was super interested in it, and now everything's going on with Israel, and it's like we don't even pay attention. We don't even hear about it. Like, why? So for all of us over here, why is it important for us over here, Ukraine, and supporting Ukraine?
Thanks for asking that. I think from the start, we need to understand is that, there's events that are going to happen, and then like the outcome of these events. We need to think about outcomes of events and potential outcomes. And Ukraine, when I first saw the war in Ukraine start, I was like, oh my gosh, we have another continental war in Europe. And the last major continental war in Europe was World War II. And every major continental war in the last century, we got involved. The U.S. got involved. Eventually, the U.S. got involved. And Putin's claim, a quick claim, I have no, Putin's claim for Ukraine going to war with Ukraine is complete absurdity. The idea that he needed to take Ukraine because of fear of NATO expansion is absurdity. There was a recent release actually between Putin and Bush where he said the reason he didn't want Ukraine in NATO was because Ukraine was, so it was like basically Ukraine can't be in NATO because Ukraine's going to be ours. Like that's just basically what he said. Is like that was the whole point. Was that like Ukraine is already ours. It's going to be ours. And if talk about geopolitics, I'm a firm believer in the idea of sovereignty. That we've kind of said, all right, we don't want any more world wars. They're horrible. As someone who's lived in a war zone, let me tell you, war sucks.
Yeah, nobody wins.
I might say it's nice for me. I enjoy my life there, but I see plenty of funerals. I've seen plenty of misery. I've seen plenty of people, who have really suffered a lot, and it
Good,
sucks.
decent
And
people.
families.
Good, decent family.
Yeah. Innocent people.
Innocent people. One of my good friends, she lost her fiance, and she was just, she was destroyed, and I try to help her, but yeah, that was just. She lost, her best friend, fiance of so many years, and just that's because of this war.
Was he drafted? Or?
No, he volunteered. He was volunteered. He was an officer, and he passed away this year. And so it was very hard for her. And I wasn't I wasn't there at the time. I think I was maybe in Copenhagen or where, I forgot. But yeah, she just, I did get to meet her and talk to her about the whole thing, and it affects a lot of people, and war is something that should not be taken lightly. And so I saw this as Putin. This is something I equate. This is I bet I can't predict the future, but I was like, all right, this is a Hitler. We have a Hitler here.
That's the way I see it.
He just wants more land. He wants to project his power. He wants his empire. Ukraine's not going to be it. After Ukraine, it's going to be Moldova, and then it might be the Baltic states, might be Poland, and eventually the U.S. is going to get involved, and eventually U.S. lives will be lost. And U.S. lives have been lost in this war. There have been those that also saw that, and they went over, and they have died. And so we need to understand that, we need to stop this before it gets worse. And that's what I saw, is that this can get worse. It's going to lead to further instability. It's going to lead to economic turmoil. It's going to lead to problems that will be bigger issues down the line. So we need to nip it in the bud while it's in this center area where it's not built up yet. So that's my we can't think that we are insulated from the world and how the world operates, because even if we wanted to say it's Europe's problem, it's all Europe's problem. If Europe was to completely collapse, it's going to drastically affect us economically.
Right.
Well, the U.S. is starting to do the same thing too. I mean, we're going after Greenland. I mean,
it's exactly
stupid.
It's the exact same thing. Greenland, Trump's claim that we need Greenland for security reasons is the exact same reason why Putin said we need Crimea. It's for a security concern, and that never ends.
Nope.
There's no point where you say I now feel safe.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's trading, and just do that. Just trade. Everyone just trade.
Exactly.
Just trade, and everyone makes money.
Yep.
You send your pianos wherever if you want around the world.
Cooperate.
Cooperate.
Cooperate. I mean, how hard of a word is that? It rolls off the tongue. Cooperate. That's all you gotta
get
do.
along.
It just
Send me money, I send you shit.
It doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't make any sense. And the thing is that you're getting these higher ups that are sitting in their comfortable chairs and just not seeing, because I guarantee you that if their sons or daughters were on the front lines and whoa, no, let's stop this war right now. But no, because they're sitting there and they see something from a TV screen, they're not in the middle of it, and it's
Send the
all
Navy
about
over.
it's all about power.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just how much more can you take?
Yeah, listen to CCR, man.
Yeah, what do you need? You got everything. Be
Yeah.
happy with what you got. You don't need another country. Freaking leave it alone.
We can't handle the one we got.
Yeah, exactly. Fix the problems that are here.
I was
Before
gonna
we
say,
take
like,
on something else.
what Greenlander would give up health care? What's like their workout like what? There's
Well, Denmark owns Greenland.
yeah,
correct?
Denmark owns Greenland, and so like on one hand, we already if we're gonna get on the
Sounds
Greenland
fishy.
debate because it's it's a long time ago.
Well, guess what? After we take over Greenland, guess where we're taking over next?
Well, Iceland. I mean, but then the Scandinavian, then Denmark. But I mean, well, if we do anything, we're going to lose all our military bases in all of Europe, and then we can't project. I mean, our projection of power is based because we have military bases everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
If we, like I said, why would we give up? All right, we're giving up all of European projection. We'll probably lose some places, and we'll probably lose Australia and other places. And why? To get a place that we already currently have a deal with where we can put as many military bases as we want.
Mm-hmm.
We have access to their minerals. We can make deals with them.
Yep.
We have trade economic deals. That we have full access to them
everything
already.
that they
to
have.
everything they have.
Yeah.
Why
do we need to
why do
obtain it?
You know why? Because they're imperfect humans. That's simple. And they're not as smart as they think they are. And that's what
I'm thinking it's more like we can put an NFL team there.
I think it's a stupider like that too. Yes, an NFL
I think
team.
it's more along those lines.
I think
we're already
do a
playing
curling
in
team
Europe,
there.
you know, in Germany. You know, we
It's-
have football NFL games
don't
there.
have
So
it.
now we got to have it in Greenland.
We got some golf courses playing over there, like
golf
you wouldn't believe.
courses
They're going to be the best golf courses in the world.
no one told him that like Greenland is all snow. That's probably the problem. No one told him that. It's like
Snow golf.
No, it's all green.
it's all it's Greenland. What do you mean? It's got to be green. It's like no, it's all snow, sir. There's
Okay, so we
green
have a
in the name.
curling team.
It's going to be the best curling team.
so
Keep sleeping.
yeah, it's very disappointing to see everything that's going on, and you come back home and you kind of have to see this because. But on the other hand, the one thing I do like being about in Ukraine is the agency that I do get to have there. I do feel like there it's almost that like entrepreneurship that you can really do whatever you want there. Like you whatever you want to do, you go do it. When
No
there's-
permits, no nothing.
no dude, are you kidding me? What I'm
Can
doing,
I put bombs
like,
on skateboards? Yeah. Hell yeah.
Here, let me hand you a couple.
literally like we have our basement shop and we're working with batteries and we're working with cells. None of us are prior technicians. All right, YouTube is our teacher, but we're
Shout out to YouTube.
big shout out
We
to
are
YouTube.
on YouTube.
But yeah, no, it's and like our only issue is our landlord. If our landlord's cool with this, all right, we're cool. All right, we're doing it. No one's complaining. There's no inspector. We're like, what do you mean we have we
Is
got
this your landlord?
EPA's not coming by and checking it out.
no one's
get outta
coming
here.
by.
No
like,
code enforcement?
No code enforcement. No, they say like, you guys have a fire extinguisher? Yeah, like all right.
You can add on to
You're good.
you can add on to the building over there. No problem.
No problem.
no problem. I'm like, I love it. I'm like, all right, let's do it. And so, yeah, I mean, like the drone school. I mean, I think
What's this drone piano coming?
yeah.
A piano in the sky. That's funny. So everybody can follow you. How can they follow you?
So I have a YouTube channel, FLMan4UA 24, and then also my website, FloridaMan4UA.com or .org. It's a .org, FloridaMan4UA.org. Also on Instagram. Basically, I don't post too much, because not much is going on right now since I'm in Florida. But once I'm back in Ukraine, we'll be doing a lot of cool stuff that we'll be kind of keeping people up to date with. Lots of new projects. It's going to also be a lot more like learning type stuff. We're going to be talking about soldering and how electronics work, microelectronics, how to make your own power bank from vape batteries. That's one of our big projects that we have a lot of our volunteers working on. For soldiers, we're making power banks out of vape batteries. Use vape batteries. It's an interesting thing, but yeah, YouTube primarily, I would say.
Okay.
Cool.
Awesome.
Man, we're glad you got here safe.
Glad you made it another year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
We're glad, we'll see you next year. Too,
I don't know.
hopefully.
My time here is not over, so we'll see what happens while I'm here, man. I'd say one.
It might be 2 years. We're not sure.
In 2 years, and then we'll do a podcast with you in 2 years.
Absolutely.
Chris, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's great to see you guys too. I always love seeing your
Absolutely.
shop, and it's always inspiration to see just people just putting in the work and just making something out. Like literally, this used to be an abandoned. Like, was it abandoned or?
Well, it wasn't abandoned. It was just in bankruptcy.
Bankruptcy. Yeah.
It was a church.
It was a
slash
Well, they
export.
left, so therefore it was abandoned.
Yeah.
They left, and we acquired.
And they, it was a church, and then this building, the church was bankrupt, and it was like a distribution plant for sending stuff overseas.
Yeah.
And it was filled from wall to wall, ceiling to floor with
Rats.
boxes and rats and everything else. And we, disinfected everything and replaced everything, and made it a
home.
beautiful, home for pianos and for customers to come in and see, and and that's what we did. So, Chris, you got anything to say? You're just tired.
No, I'm a tertiary guest tonight, but I'll be back at one point and actually have a few more things to say. I think it was very interesting catching up with Ben, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah, when Ben's here, it's just
Yeah, no,
cool.
I was
him
just
the floor.
We'll never get
in
to
the
hear
shop.
what's really happening over there.
Right.
Yeah.
We hear what they want us to hear here.
For
That's
sure.
about
Yeah,
it.
the news controls all
Yeah,
that information.
absolutely.
yeah.
So, everybody, thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate it, guys. Thank you very, very much. Of course, Ben, be safe on your way
Yes.
travels back, and everybody, where you can follow us on YouTube and Spotify and Facebook and everything else in between. Appreciate everybody. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Good
Peace.
night.
But